Okay, so we are live and I'll just move the screen here so that I can start. Okay, so we are live and I'll just mute myself over there. Opening up the chat if somebody is watching, either from WFH community, tell me a hi if you're watching live. Emotional strength. So that's the topic for today. All right. So just a second. I'll just open my 1 minute. Super. So started my recording. All right. Welcome to the day 10 of unlocking EQ brain skills. If you're a busy mom wanting to learn emotional intelligence skills in the span of 100 days with different topics, with different skill set, with different brain talents, this is the series. And today we are talking about how, as a woman, as a mom, juggling multiple roles, can build emotional strength in order to turn those struggles to success, and all the breakdown, all the stressful moments to breakthroughs. Now, when you need a breakthrough, you need that kind of an intensity, you need that kind of support, right? Highly elevated environment for you. So it is not possible for all of us to build that or to be in that association all the time. So it is even more important to intrinsically identify that source where there will be a point, there'll be a sweet spot where we will know, maybe taking a run, maybe taking an intensive cardio. You will know that when you have that kind of a pain, you still will endure a little bit. When your abdomen is paining, when your knees are giving up, you still can tell your mind, just few more minutes, just few more miles. So that is the sweet spot. But it doesn't always allow us to have that kind of high intensity. What happens when you're not able to jump up or move away from the heated up conversations? So how can you build that intensity in you? And it is not going to happen overnight. It has to be in you as a muscle that you have been exercising it daily. And that is the reason these episodes will help you get those insights day in and day out, dosage after dosage. Today, when you are talking about turning your meltdowns to breakthrough, essentially what we are building up is about emotional strength and building resilience. So we'll see exactly in couple of minutes what can help you to come from struggle, from stress, to move to success. First is to change the challenge into opportunity. It is all up here. Challenge or opportunity, it is all from the purview of how we see. So, how are we enabling our mindset, ourselves to shift our mindset when it is required without external support? Nobody has to tell us. You should know that you are in that breakdown. That's the first thing. You should be able to recognize that you are in that kind of a breakdown. And second thing is building resilience. You should know how to come out of it. A lot of us know there's something happening wrong in us. Not many of us even take action. Or maybe we do not know what to do. How do we move away from it? Right? I don't know. Just got stuck. I don't know. Something is wrong. Or, every time an excuse, every time a blame, every time criticizing outside environment. That's not going to build a resilience to help you bounce back. You need to figure out that superpower in you. And trust me, it is tough when you are in stressful moments. It is tough to identify or to tap that thing. So that is why essentially you'll have to work on it day in and day out. So that it's like, you know, growing a plant. You need to keep watering it. And then finally, when you arrive at sometimes breakdowns need taking a pause and also feeling, you know, not getting drooped or succumb to the meltdown, basically, right? So when you break down, it is not possible for you to even express. You need to have that grace and vigor in you to even be able to do things around you. So by the time you shouldn't be waiting till you hit that adversity. It is highly, highly responsible at this point of time as a parent, as a family member, as a woman, as a daughter, as a mother-in-law, as a responsible leader in the community. By now, you should know that these skills are the only thing which is going to help us from our own selves, right? Nobody will help us. If it's a headache or if it's stomach cramps, is something that we have to go through. Even if it is going to be a favorite child, right? Favorite person on the earth, they cannot go through your pain. So it is on you how you bounce back from any breakdowns to breakthroughs. So in this episode, we will be discussing about those talents which can help you build that muscle, that emotional strength in you. Okay. My name is Brinda Kalyan Raman, and you're watching my YouTube live series of unlocking 100 EQ brain skills in 100 days. Okay. And there will be a lot of gifts that I will be sharing with you. Hang on till the end of this video and take a lot of notes. Write down your notes. For every key learning that you mention, there will be some rewards for you because that really shows you are really interested to know and learn. So that's the only difference between a long format content on YouTube platform like this and a reel which only comes for a few seconds, right? Right now the attention span from 7 seconds of last year is right now moved to even 3 seconds. From maybe next 1 or 2 years, it'll be even 1 second of a reel. So with that amount of pace, the world is going. And imagine if that is the learning capacity that we are all going to nurture, then that's not the generation of children that we want. That's not the generation of leaders that we want to breed. So it should start from you. Have a sincere, it's a responsibility for your own self, and make it a habit to watch these kind of long format content until the end. One, you're supporting me as a creator. Second, first of all, you're learning a lot of things coming on to your at the comfort of your home, at the palm of your hand. So it is all the more easier, and it is all the more, it's a grateful feeling that technology has given us an opportunity for us to learn. And thirdly, it is also important to develop that attention span, increase that listening span. Thereby, you will also demonstrate these qualities outside. Because whenever we want to watch, right now it is all 2x speed, right? So that is how our learning, everything is speed learning, speed reading, speed cooking, everything fast food and all that, right? So in the world of fast tracking everything, our conversations also are, becoming very fast. Our talking speed and, expectations from the people is becoming very fast, even in a child. So children are the one who do not have an idea of time. So their pace is little slow, but the parents have been nurturing them because that is the fast paced environment that we are into. We are nurturing them to talk fast because we don't have patience. We don't have time to listen to them. So you see, there is a huge disconnect started already happening. I think it is equally important for us to learn active listening, empathy, all that emotional brain skills that we have been talking, as well as logical brain skills to in order to assess the situation, the danger that we are already into. Even before we hit the break downs, till that point, preparation, precaution, prevention is better. Okay. That being said, understanding this concept is pretty easy. Essentially, we are only talking about emotional brain aspect, the right brain of it. So we will quickly skim through, and this will be the last episode of resilience building. After this, we will be venturing into a new skill in depth. Guess about that skill. If you if you like to know any new skill, you let me know. I'll bring that skill forward. Okay? If you really want to know anything on that emotional intelligence aspect, give me one or two words of that skill name. I'll be able to bring that forward and give you a shout out. All right. So first thing is understanding this concept as to how a person going through meltdown can actually bounce back so that their struggles can be turned as success for them. It doesn't happen overnight. It is the process. But that concept of mind shift has to happen. And the skill there and the ability has to be there in that person to be able to turn that as a success stone, stepping stone. So the first thing is, how are we processing our setbacks as stepping stones towards personal growth and achievement? Second thing, what is the key message here? Every breakdown has the potential to lead to a breakthrough. And as an outcome, growing stronger, more resilient, and ready for success through learning from struggles. Now, without having developing yourself towards this, meltdowns or breakdowns, uh, emotional strength is a skill by itself, resilience is a skill by itself, which will develop you more. Without having this development, what happens? Whenever there is a setback, whenever heated and moments, you're going to get, first of all, overwhelmed. Things are, even if it's not heated, right? There are so many information out there. Information overload. Nobody has to trigger. We can ourselves get triggered without even knowing. Our brain rots just by watching and listening to a lot of things, just by watching videos, just by scrolling, doom scrolling, just by being hearing all the negativities. It is easy to rot. If a brain itself is becoming a vegetable, which means it, the entire body system will break down very quickly. You don't need a particular hereditary disease at all to name any setback or any adversity for that matter, whether it is physical or mental or family or financial or anything. So, how are we preparing ourselves? So, without developing yourself, you will be succumbed, and especially during setbacks, it will be overwhelming, leading to emotional defeat and loss of motivation. It is very tough for a person to bounce back when they have hit a fatigue stage or a burnout stage. Once the person is exhausted in all dimensions, physically, mentally, emotionally. Now, to differentiate what is the emotional, physical, or mental exhaustion, you can simply feel tired in your eyes all the time, or you're feeling overwhelmed only at the brain level. Now, all these are happening mentally exhausted. Then if you're feeling really tired, all that, I mean, your knees are giving up, or you don't feel like waking up, that will also have the consequence on physical health. Your sleep deprivation, insomnia, and you're not happy. The serotonin stops, the oxytocin stops at all, because you're all the time giving importance to the dopamine by scrolling, or in the FOMO constantly. What's happening outside? Societal pressure, constantly in a compulsive behavior, impulsive buying, impulsive decisions, because we don't understand why we are doing what we are doing. Neither do we have the hold of control of anything around us. Even our own health is not in our control, let alone the brain chatter, let alone the little voice in us. And now, emotional, constant tiffs, constant struggles, inexpressive about your own emotional overload, not able to share with others. So these are all consequences for bigger disease and bigger adversities. But with development, when you are able to develop these skills, just one step at a time, every day, maybe watching 30, 40 minutes of this video will definitely give you some key insights, because we'll be opening up case studies, we'll give you examples. So at least something will strike you. Okay, maybe, Brinda told me in this video that about bamboo being a classic example of not breaking down even at the top level, even when the winds are strong, storm is out there. It may sway a lot. It may go here and there, but it doesn't break at all. Plus, the main reason is the foundation at the root level is strong. It's pretty grounded, strongly grounded, because of which it it can help himself, itself high above all the ground level. So when you are thinking about a setback, or when you're down, mentally drained or emotionally drained, think about these examples. So only with developing your skills every day, you will be able to adapt to change and achieve greater success, than the before steps. So understanding this statistically, research finding says 73% of successful people attribute their success to learning from past failures. Sosa says, University of California study on success and failure. I remember very well, this could be an example of decision-making skills as well when we are discussing in the future. Jeff Bezos was asked by a journalist, how do you recruit your um, candidature for high-stake jobs? How do you identify the potential in them? So he immediately said, I would look at their past trends in, trying to understand how have they taken decision choices during setbacks. That is the highlight the message had, because he looks at the pattern. Even though he knows it's a failure, but he is very particular about how the person has overcome that. As a pattern, it is not just one of a story that the person is going to say. Out of their experience, there has to be a pattern. So he looks for that pattern. So the pattern says about the abilities of that person. Once a person resilient, not necessarily that he's going to be resilient all the time, but there is a pattern in terms of you can identify whether they're physically resilient, emotionally resilient, or mentally resilient. Whether they are resilient or not itself can be identified. So that shows about that person, not just at work. That is how they will be in life also. My super mentor always says, life and business are not different. We are what we are, both in family, internal situations, and outside also. So it is not two entities. It may be different rules, different setup, different environment, different expectations, different people, but we are the same everywhere. We may think we are not same. It is only that we are covering up. We are just not expressing our fullest because that is what is expected, or that at least we think that is what is expected. So being authentic is the essential skill for you to realize these importance, right? Once you have a setback, everything is down in you. You cannot be authentic. You just cannot be yourself. You lose your sight of your own identity. You lose that thinking capacity. Your brain gets freeze. It's clouded. So it is all the more important to be physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually resilient. All right. So pros of this, advantage of turning these struggles to success. So what we are going to do is essentially what in this topic we are going to say is about embracing the failures as a stepping stone, not negating them, not getting succumbed to it. You're going to turn the failures into your fans' success. So for that, emotional strength is needed. Building resilience and mental toughness is important. Growth mindset, seeing failure as an opportunity for learning, and innovation, finding creative solutions to challenges. It is hard. I totally understand. I've been there too. It is hard, especially when you're not aware of these things. I was not told this. When I had gone through burnout, actually twice in the last 8 years. And why would I go through the burnout stage second time? Because emotional intelligence itself is a vast subject. And what we have been maybe concentrating, what I've been practicing is maybe only few skills. So there are left brain skills and right brain skills. I was not exposed to a lot of talents, a lot of skills about emotional intelligence, because of which neither did I have that support or that education coming around right on time. Now I cannot wait for that education to come to me right on time. So I need to buckle up. I need to grow. I need to be proactive to pick up those insights from either other people's experience or my own self. I need to do a research. I need to read a lot of case studies, observe a lot of things around me, and learn it by myself as a precaution, prevention. So if you are a person who's having great responsibilities, I think it is important to, make sure that we take care of all this even before we get hit. Okay. So if you're watching online, just give me a thumbs up or something. I'll be more than happy to know that you're watching. Okay. All right. So what happens if you don't have it? What is the disadvantages? Or I would say this particular slide is not about disadvantage. It's about overuse of it. Let's look at this way. Now, when you have this resilience going on, or when you're firefighting all the time, because you maybe life takes over. It's a series of setbacks that happens to an entrepreneur, to a business person who's a startup. It is taken for granted that first few years will be this, will not be a red carpet, never be one, because we never arrive at a particular situation. It is always evolving, and so it is with parenting, so it is with family, so it is with organization also. But working as a professional, you always have that privilege to choose jobs, like move away from things which is not really working for you, as a if it's going to be a setback. But there is no there's no point in keep moving, keep jumping from jobs. So you need to face that. You need to, whether it is negativity or really a failure, a setback, it is important to face that and use that failure as a stepping stone. But when it is happening in a personal life, there is no escape. You need really have to encounter that. So is the case with business entrepreneurs. So is the case with high stake professionals like caretakers, doctors, right? So when they are overusing resilience or emotional strength, what happens is it it makes them even more exhaustive, because it is fatigue for people to overuse any skill for that matter. As long as it is helping them and people around them, and the bubble doesn't go extremes. I know I told you in the earlier episodes. By the way, this is the last episode on resilience, and we have been talking about resilience for about 9 episodes earlier. So go through those previous episodes to understand what is the logical resilience and then emotional resilience, and what are those areas that we can apply, and what are those actionable tips. Like every episode, I would have spoken about left brain and right brain actionable tips. So by now, at least 20, 30 strategies people would know. So it is highly essential that you need to go back, and so that you'll be able to connect the dots. So now here, what we are saying is constant struggles can be exhaustive if not managed well. A person who is firefighting all the time, it is very intense for that person. And it is highly exhaustive if they don't take care of all the dimension, as I said. Another metaphor that I always asked you to remember is like a four-legged chair or a five-legged chair. Okay, let's come to four-leg. When you have a four-legged chair, it's like having a life physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually fit. And I would like to add another leg called financial or productivity, because it is also highly important. The moment you have a financial stress, it is going to take over all the other stress. I would also say when you have a physical stress or physical ailment, that is also going to eat away all the other ones. And so it is the case with mental and emotional also, especially in the uh, present time, because after that pandemic that we had a few years back, we are getting lined up for other pandemics. The very existing pandemic that we are all right now into is mental health. So it is not an underrated one. It cannot be taken for granted. When we say mental, it is also emotional well-being in consideration. And that is essentially why I'm doing what I'm doing. So my mission is to spread EQ awareness to 1 lakh women and make them practice emotional intelligence. And that being said, the fear of failure also makes the person, fear of uncertainty is the killer. You neither can be in past nor can be in future. You can only be in present. But it is not the case always with everybody. It requires the mindfulness is a is a skill that has to be practiced every day. It has to be a learned skill. It is not an innate one for anybody, as long as they are a magician or there's something wrong in them. Okay, so some may become risk adverse after repeated failures because they have the mindset block. All that limiting beliefs will keep coming and having them stopped and blocked whenever they want to try out something, because setback is such that it is not a daily occurrence. So it is important that you need to work on your muscles. And then time consuming. The process of turning struggles into success often takes time. That is very true. So there is nothing happens over the weekend, or it's not going to happen just because you're listening to this and you're able to practice in 1 week. That's also not going to be possible. So you need to be constantly working on it. Who is going to be benefited is entrepreneurs, because they are the ones who face that, especially the startup, or I must say, entrepreneurial journey is like stages of development. Again, nobody arrives as a successful person. There's no destination. There could be some sweet spot, but it keeps evolving. And so with the high stake professionals struggling with career setbacks and unexpected changes, the caretakers, the doctors, healthcare people who, when the pandemic hit, it was too heavy. It was too much for a lot of people without their fault, without having a control within themselves. Everything was shooting up. Everything was different, right? All of us went through, especially the high stake professions like this. And then parents. Parenting is an everyday job. It's a full time and everyday job. And it is evolving. We are always work in progress. And imagine a woman who's going through parenting, a professional or an entrepreneur. It is all the more important that you need to be highly skilled in all this. Okay, in order to save yourself, save your family, because we are, after all, we are working for our family. Whatever we were doing, it is for the family. But from today onwards, or at least when you're watching the series, it is also to do for yourself. Because when you want to learn emotional intelligence, remember this principle that emotional intelligence is not just for others. It is, in fact, it starts from us. It starts from self-awareness, self-management, and self-direction. Okay. Where are we going to apply this in business? Whenever there is a failure of product launch, or business setback, or cheating, the market downturns, or it could be pivoting to new strategies, stepping into the wrong side of a business, or maybe partnership issues, people issues, or funding issues, anything which can be a failure, which can be a reason for failure. So we need to learn to analyze mistakes and gather the feedback and develop improved version of that new strategies, for which you need to have a vision. Without having a long-term thinking, a lot of entrepreneurs, small scale business owners get succumbed to the situation. So long-term vision thinking has to be there from the day one. So especially it is very evident for a startup. They cannot expect even a break even, at least for first 2 years. And that is the thing even in life, right? When there is a new job, or when there is a new role, a new shift in our life, let's say, we come to school, to college. School, maybe we have been used to, be in one school, and then we got comfort with whatever is happening around us. And then suddenly a transition. So this is not something like in the very first few days itself, the kids get started. Even they go through. Even the kids need resilience. We naturally have. That is exactly what I'm saying. Emotional intelligence is a wisdom already in us. Um, how are we going to activate? That is the reason I've started deciphering emotional intelligence through left brain and right brain talents. When I point out that this is your logical brain which is helping you, and these are your emotional skills that is helping you, then it is easy for you to say, okay, so let me bring some logic to it, because I'm getting clouded. Maybe some clarity on facts and figures or real problems can give me that neutrality. So that is how you blend thinking. Or maybe you're too bogged out with the numbers, very analytically, trapped. You may want to emotional process, like be aware of what's happening in you. Maybe you want to take a pause, take a break, contemplate with the nature, go for a swim, creatively think about how to give yourself some break. So that is called emotional resilience. You're working on it, you are reflecting on it, maybe journaling or talking to a friend, just venting out or expressing whatever your thoughts. That is taking a blend of emotional skills while you're working logically driven decisions. Okay, so like this, you need to creatively blend. Only then you can have a different version coming in. And success is launching successful product or business growth. That is not, that may be a success for business. But again, after launching and after once you see the business growth, it is not all the time staying stable, right? There are uncertainty is always constant and change is constant always. So we need to be equipped with these skills. So anytime market can turn down, anything can happen now. Right now, pandemics are lined up, climatic changes are becoming a norm now. So these preparations are part of the business growth. Okay. Applying in personal development. How are we going to apply this? A setback, what happens? Experience personal challenge like job change, job loss, relationship struggle. Job change could be less intensive, but job loss is a setback for sure, right? And relationship struggle also. I was just going to say, maybe getting married is also highly stressful for a woman to go to the transition. In at least, few years before that was the case, but after this, I think people are getting aware, both the gender are becoming aware that they need to have a shared responsibility, and the family are becoming more nuclear to in order to get that independent existence. Yet we are family oriented and value oriented. Hopefully we pass the same thing to our kids. But on the other side, there could be relationship struggle because of compatibility issues, both with the spouse and with the people around in their family, and thereby affecting their parenting abilities also. So the struggle is could be a real setback. So they are not able to come out of it because they feel trapped. Relationship struggle could be really something that you cannot come away, come out of it very easily. So you need to take time to reflect, to process those emotions and learn from the experience. And focus on self improvement, developing new skills, be on your own, have self care, self love, learn to know emotional regulation mechanisms so that you don't create this dependent relationship. You will have to work towards interdependent so that he or she has their own passion to pursue. They have their own skills and talents to be appreciated and complimented. They have their own duties and responsibilities. At the end of it, it is a shared responsibility when you're coming together so that it reflects in the parenting. There's a whole set of things that intelligence skills can work for marriage and couples compatibility also. It is important. It starts from within. It is not always through the other person. And in fact, it is not through the other person at all. It is through you. The growth is when there is a growth in you, it cannot be borrowed or shared by anybody. The same thing, the pain is in you, cannot be given to anyone. You will have to go through that. So, focusing on self improvement, developing those new skills is highly important. Breaking through, emerging stronger emotionally and better prepared for future challenges is becoming a norm. It is not a superpower now. There's no superhuman abilities now. Embracing failure as a learning tool. Mindset shift will help you see the failure as opportunity. Again, it is not thinking only positive, 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 positive. No, but through experience, you will have to work on it every day, maybe doing a meditation or positive affirmations or writing thing, journaling talking to like-minded people, very ambitious and positive people, that is what is going to rewire your thought process. It is just not going to happen, just by listening to this episode or overnight expectation. Example, after failing to secure funding, improving your pitch for next time could be a classic example for entrepreneurs. Now, an example for a parent, after you have a tiff with your teenage tantrum, what happens usually when you are also in the heated situation? Usually you also get exhausted, right? If it's going to be a constant thing. So it is important to have an open communication without any ego, because it is important to have an intention check. What is the intention behind whatever we are doing? It is for the welfare of the child. There's no ego there. And there is no duty bounded. It is an appropriate response. When you care for somebody, you might as well want to express that to them. So, whenever there is a tiff, both the parties involved, it is highly recommended that you bounce back so that you don't take enough time to or drag the topic enough, show your cold faces all the time and then hold the grudges. And then finally, you bring that up after 1 year, clinging on to the same past. No, if possible, fix it in 24 hours' time. Ideally, my mentor says, this is what we do before hitting bed. We don't sleep with problems. So that takes time. That takes a lot of understanding between couples and even parenting. So even between me and my child, when there is any, emotional tiff, before saying good night, we kind of have some gestures. And if you're not okay, then we'll quickly talk about it. If it is not time permissible, then we will always understand that we will bounce back the next day. Of course, we'll carry all that and then we'll openly discuss, but the act of bouncing back is important. That comes only when you are assured or trust is there with that other person. If the trust is not going to be there, that this person is going to be, you know, dragging the topic, or there is no compatibility, or there is no giving in from the other person, then the fear of getting into the same loop will avoid that person to bounce back. It has to be both the parties. Outcome, developing resilience and adaptability in the face of setbacks will be the case. It is not just with entrepreneurs, it is with our daily transactions. Okay. But that can be brought as an awareness only when you're working on yourself. Practicing reflection, yes, writing will help you remove all the clogging thoughts. Especially after a challenge setback, it is important to keep have a habit of journaling so that you can analyze, taking time to reflect on what went wrong, not doing the blame or excuses, but simply seeing the problem as a problem, learning to identify lessons and areas of improvement, applying insights to approach future challenges with greater wisdom, reframing struggles as challenges. Negative framing and positive framing. The difference is viewing struggles as innumerable obstacles leading to defeat. It's like looking at the problem as the biggest elephant. Maybe that is true, but breaking down those problems could help you to manage those goals. How do you do this positive framing? Seeing struggles as challenges to overcome promotes proactive problem solving. Maybe, yeah, this challenge taught me something. There is a wisdom in every setback and challenge. What is that lesson that I need to learn from it? Am I going to repeat it? And then it is evident to see the same loop happening. And how am I going to come out of it? And for that, first of all, recognizing that problem and acknowledging, accepting this is where you are in the current situation. Acknowledging yourself. It's okay to get angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel bad or guilty. It's okay. But what is next? And where do you want to go is the whole point. And what is going to take you to where you want to go is these skills. Seeking support from others, having mentors for physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial. It's best you have mentors for everybody, every dimension of life, because it's highly fast paced and world, very highly competitive, FOMO everywhere, jealous everywhere. Um, People don't give anything free out here, and anything comes in free is not valuable at all. So it is important to have a value exchange. You might as well pay to get that valuable time and genuine advice. So you need to figure out right kind of mentors, and you should be able to spend on them, invest your time. It's like an investment that you're doing, so that when you invest time and money, the result will be multiplied and it is valuable. Okay. Friends, sharing your struggles with trusted friends is also important for emotional support. You're just not going to share your problem with each and everybody, because they take you for granted. Judgments will all over will happen all over the places, and that will again add up to the fuel, add up to the fire. So it'll again take you to the loop. In order to have a right kind of friendship, it is important to have only one or two, that too with same similar roles, complementing each other. If you're a parent of a toddler, choose a parent of a toddler, because common problems can be spoken about. If you're a toddler parent and you're having a best friendship with the college going parent, maybe the frequency, maybe their experience can help you, but that emotionally you will not be connected. Same is with the business people. When you are a startup, it's better to have a tie-up with the startup friends, not the one who's successful already, because highly possible that it can go anyways. But you can look them as mentors, right? Valuing their time and energy, you might have to have a value exchange there. But having friendship or accountability, you'll have to figure out the common level. Okay. Setting small and achievable goals, identifying and breaking down those goals into manageable tasks, taking action, working consistently to achieve those goals, and celebrating that. Acknowledge progress to maintain motivation. That is what is going to see the light in the tunnel. I simply love this graphics, right? It's a step by step process. And you see, after success, there is growth, and there is growth, there is growth, excellence. So it doesn't stop with success. So all those struggles means only stepping stones. Okay. How do we cultivate resilience? Is through gratitude. Practice 10 minutes every day to appreciate what you have learned from those opportunities and what you have around you. Start from writing basic things. Go till 100, 200 in a day. When you're starting new, just write 100 and 200 things. I know it's tough, but by the time you arrive at 100 and 200, you will not feel enough. And every day you start increasing those transactions that you want to be thankful for. Trust me, you'll have so many things every moment you can be grateful for. So when you're practicing gratefulness, it'll come moment to moment. Right now I'm grateful because I can see so many things that is helping me, talk to you. So when you get gratitude in you as a practice, it becomes moment to moment. Until such time, you need to exercise those muscles. And self compassion, as I told you, EQ is just not about others, it is more to do with ourselves. So, treating yourself with kindness and understanding during difficult times is highly important. Put your foot down, set your boundaries, take a time off, choose your people, choose your goals, acknowledge yourself, and be part of like minded people. Exactly tell you how I'm going to help you cultivate this resilience as a community. Okay. And practicing mindfulness, staying in present, grounded to emotional, maintain emotional balance is equally important. So, before I leave you with this topic, there are two more parts to it, and this is my favorite part. For every topic, we do a case study. In this resilience topic itself, we've seen so many personalities, and this is a classic example of J.K. Rowling. She is a classic example of resilience, emotional resilience. So, most of you will know about her story. She had setbacks after setbacks. She's a single mother on, taking care of her children was a setback itself. I mean, it's a constant struggle for her dealing with depression and rejections in the initial times. She was rejected multiple times before the Harry Potter happens. So, what determines her, the key wisdom from that experience is perseverance, continued writing, and submitting Harry Potter despite of multiple rejections. She believed in it. Okay, to big brands actually rejected her, and Harry Potter has become a saga for decades. I've seen kids growing with Harry Potter, and they are naming their kids now the characters of Harry Potter, and it is passed on generation after generation. My kid is also becoming fanatic about J.K. Rowling's creations, whether it's a text format or video format. So such is the, you know, such success, such breakthroughs really inspires us. And what made us stick with this, that self-belief, that vision, that endurance, despite of being a single mother and having gone through or still going through the personal setback, she had something telling her in her that things will work, and now she should have made a fortune, right? And her legacy is already built. So Breakthrough finally achieved success with Harry Potter publication. Exactly, legacy is found became one of the most successful authors in the history. Continued success, yeah. Expected that Harry Potter universe with sequels and spin-offs is coming back. We're also excited to watch the movie. I heard about Harry Potter during my college times, but never had an opportunity to watch it. I will be enjoying watching that with my daughter. Philanthropy founded Lumos, okay, a charity dedicated to improving the lives of children in orphanages. See, she turned her own breakdowns to breakthroughs for a lot of other people. She turned her own story to a movement. She created a legacy. She created a charity around that. Some inspiration for you. Rock bottom became the solid foundation on which I rebuilt my life. That is J.K. Rowling for you. Now, if you are wondering, where do you stand when we're talking about emotional strength and resilience during setbacks, you may want to ask yourself these questions. Do I see failure as a learning or setback? Opportunity as a setback? How well do I reflect on my struggles to identify lessons for the future? Can I stay emotionally balanced when facing challenges? Do I feel overwhelmed? So there are a lot of questions like this. Of course, you by now know, if you've been watching this episode, I do have a awareness quiz bundles that is there for all the skill set, all the brain skills that we have been discussing. So there's a link given here. It will be available for you free of cost. Of course, the link will show you some cost. Never mind on that. I will give you 100% free coupon code for you so that you can avail that as a free course. You can do it anytime. It's all going to be a quiz format just to check where you are, and it will come on to you as a personalized summary. It will not be reflected anywhere. Your scores will not be shown to anybody. It is you for you to have a self reflection. But for you to gain that, it you love to earn by sharing your three key insights of this episode down there as comments. When you have commented, I will personally email to you the 100% free coupon code. Okay? Sounds fun? I also want to um, invite you for a masterclass, which I will tell you the three secrets to attain the left brain and right brain skills activated, three steps, and interpreted, showing you the sample reports that is going to come to you as an AI driven, globally accepted one pager report. So I'll exactly tell you how do we approach all that so that a person who's been watching this episodes, if you have the curiosity to know how, where do you stand, actually, do you have that brain skill or not, and which part of your brain styles working well for you, and what are those areas that you need to improve. This will all be explicitly shown in a particular report, personalized, and it'll be a data point for us to talk a lot and create a goal around that, and also do a SWOT analysis for you then and there. And it is a solid, concrete report. It's no hypothesis because emotional intelligence cannot be concretized because we deal with emotions. But brain skills can help you concretize as to where you stand, using your emotions? Are you logically driven all the time, or you're emotionally overwhelmed with all those emotions? Because emotions gives you that intelligence. And when you're emotionally intelligent, you activate both your logic and emotional brain beautifully blended. So that is essentially what we need for future. If you are a woman, if you are a mother, you are emotionally driven leader, then you naturally lead your family, and your family or people around you in your team or your organization naturally bound to get inspired, and they also would like to be like you. So do that favor for me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, to all that channels that I'm posting. I will be doing a podcast on the same topic, but in a different version. It'll be interesting for you to just hear it on the go. Subscribe to Spotify, and I'm also writing an article on the Stack and LinkedIn. Stay connected, but most importantly, write your key learnings. 3 of them, share your learnings, and win your 100% free coupon for awareness quizzes. It's all to you. And I'm also giving you a gift along with that, where if you want to build your resilience practically for 21 days, I'll make you resilient mom at the end of 21 day. There are a lot of feedback, good reviews about this program from the moms who have taken this. You don't have to believe me. There is a link given here. You may want to go and check as to how, few moms who have gone through this challenges, how are they before, during, and after, and what has, been a breakthrough for them, and how are they becoming unstoppable now. So resilience, not just in theory, also in practice. If you're interested, again, the same rule, share your key learnings. I'll send you that link. Okay. Tomorrow, when we come, we're going to be talking a new skill. And I won't tell you what is a skill until we meet tomorrow. But if you have any guesses, I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out. And in fact, if you are picking up a particular brand skill, maybe I can pivot all my next few days of presentation towards that skill also. It's going to be a little tough for me to prepare it instantly, but I might want to do that for you because you've sincerely watched till this end, and you are taking that steps. So that really shows that you are something about you, right? So until I see you tomorrow, stay calm, stay resilient, and stay happy.